First off, thanks for showing up tonight, for your dedication and your service for the election process here in the state of Utah. My name's Tim Aalders. I'm running for U.S. Congress, District 3. I want to say that America is facing a crisis. And it's not the crisis you think, it's an identity crisis. We don't understand if government should be average or exceptional, if government should work from the people up or government down. The problem with elected officials is they have forgotten who they want to represent. They go off to Washington, D.C., and 75% of their time is spent with special interests, lobbyists, people who want them to pass legislation. And they never have time to read any of this legislation. America was always intended to be a self-sufficient nation. Manufacturing sufficient, food sufficient, and energy sufficient. Uinta County provides 25 million barrels of oil a year. You are on the way of making America energy efficient. Our government, for some reason, would rather buy from Russia, Venezuela, than look in our own backyard. Why is that? Why do we support every nation but our own? Why do we give our money and bankrupt our children for government? Why don't we have single-issue legislation? Why is it we have legislation that's over 2,000 pages? I'll tell you why. And so government officials can tell you, I voted for the good things, not the bad things in it. So they can all negotiate and say, we work well together. Yes, there's negative things in this piece of legislation, but there was also this, and it was really good. Well, the people of America, the people of Utah, and the people of District 3 deserve your congressman to get your input on every piece of legislation. Because you see, it's not their vote, it's yours. So will we accept average, or will we go for the exceptional? Will we stay with the status quo? That's up to you, not me. Will we, in District 3, prove to America that we can change the way government operates? I hope so. Because if we don't change our behavior, how do we expect Washington to change theirs? 5 companies pretty much own every media source in the United States, but why hasn't Congress stopped it? Why hasn't the government agencies that are unconstitutional put an end to it? I don't think anybody in Congress should make more than the average wage of the people in their districts. You know, if they had to live on what people they represent made, maybe they'd think about what they're doing to people's wages. I have 2 nephews that work in the oil fields. I raise cattle, Angus, and the environmentalists want that, and I drive a gas car. I have been an advocate for self-sufficiency in this nation on the radio for over 17 years, fighting members of Congress and asking them why they don't want us to be independent and free. And I've never gotten a good answer, and that's why I'm trying to get myself into a position where I can make a difference for Vernal and for Carbon County and for the coal miners and make mining safer. The Department of Education has always been a problem because that's where they influence our children towards socialism. But where's the legislation? Where's any of our current Congress people writing the legislation to remove the Department of Education or any other department? See, it all starts with legislation. But they don't write the legislation. Lobbyists write the legislation. We've accepted average for far too long as American citizens. We point the fingers at Washington, but have we participated? Have our Congress people allowed us to participate in the vote? Have our senators allowed us to participate? We need to demand exceptional from our politicians, from the people we select to go to Washington, but we haven't, so they've allowed it. I've heard for decades that they were going to get rid of the Department of Energy, the Department of Education. Where's the legislation? They don't want to put it forward because it hampers what they really want to do in Washington, D.C. So we need new people who will put forth legislation to end things. I'm actually working on a book called Constitution Betrayed. It is about the Supreme Court. It's about how we no longer have a system of checks and balances in this nation. We no longer have a court that believes people to be innocent until proven guilty. We no longer have a court that rules on the rules of justice and law, but based on emotion and party. So one congressperson can call a Supreme Court justice accountable and ask for an investigation into any vote. Hasn't been done in over 100 years. But There is the law that we should be able to change our justice system. Congress just chooses not to.